move on now to the review of some of the headlines in today's newspapers from around the world. And Tundu, Victoria, MQ, Abiola, who joins the honors.
Right. We begin, as always, with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of records. There you go. So, we'll use all means possible to rescue Katsina pupils, says military. Refutes death claim of abducted schoolboys. Insists, despite insecurity, Buhari safe in Dara. Parents fear time running out. Masari, children are alive and well. Excitement as federal government reopens 4 land borders, defers others till December 31st. Nigeria's COVID-19 cases spike up to 930, all-time high. Above the masthead, CBN boosts poultry industry with disbursements of 12.55 billion naira credit. House urges extension of SIM card registration, NIN linkage deadline. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune. Katsina, Boko Haram recruited 3 local gangs to kidnap schoolboys, report. Military not part of negotiation with abductors, DHQ. Abduction exposes government, security agencies' failure, CAN. Coalition of northern groups to protest in Katsina. And above the masthead, 16 months after Buhari reopens Seme, 3 other land borders. Daily Independent. Though late, border reopening will make us competitive, experts. Jubilation in Seme as Buhari reopens 4 land borders. It will reduce smuggling, boost government revenue, stakeholders. Expects inflationary pressure on food items to moderate. Nigeria expects COVID-19 vaccine January 2021. Tinubu, Fayemi, others seek more funds, power for states. Falana, Sanusi say Nigeria's problems more than restructuring. And above the masthead there, Kankara will rescue all abducted schoolboys alive, unhurt. Military says none of the boys is dead. Daily Sun, ahead of Christmas, federal government reopens land borders. MAN, LCCI, freight forwarders, experts hail move. I'll fight Boko Haram to a standstill. Zulum announces plan to repatriate refugees from Chad. Appeal court frees Mitu, orders fresh trial. National Assembly alters budget circle, extends implementation to March 2021. New Telegraph. Federal government reopens Nigeria's land borders as organized private sector hails move. Government sustains ban on rice, poultry products. MAN, LCCI, Nasima, it will boost economy. Customs seizes 1.42 billion naira rice, other contraband. Above the masthead, CBN tightens rules on receipt of diaspora remittances, warns against patronage of Azimo TransferWise. Apex Bank injects 12.5 billion naira to support poultry farmers. The Nation. Military to rescue abducted pupils, whichever way. Governor, when negotiating through Miyetti Allah, IG deploys special squad. Boom back at border communities. Rice, poultry products importation remain banned. Minister, COVID-19 vaccines likely for Nigeria in January. The Punch. Reopening of 4 borders, LCCI, experts raise smuggling alert as federal government retains rice ban. Above the masthead, all abducted schoolboys alive in Zamfara forest, says Masari. NIN, federal government comes under fire as 164 million phones risk disconnection. The Guardian. Nigeria backs down after 16 months border closure as government reopens 4 borders. How January 1st, AFCTFA deadline forced Buhari's hand. Operators demanding effective border policing. Daily Trust reminding us that it's been 2,430 days since the Chibok schoolgirls were abducted. Rice poultry importation remains banned as the federal government reopens 4 borders. Decision long overdue. Experts, jubilation at Seme Megatari Ilela. Lagos Chambers, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, call for effective policing. Consider us too. Jibia, Congolam residents. Katsina schoolboys cited in Zamfara, Masari. Gentlemen.
Yeah, well, let me just comment because of the constraint of time, or maybe just two of the issues. First, I think it's heartening to hear from the governor of Katsina State that, none of the abducted boys is either dead or ill. And we hope that he has very concrete information in that regard. 6 days after they have been abducted, the governor should also understand that parents will be anxious. The general community will also be anxious because in the past, we have had reports with the case of Chibok, with the case of Dapchi, that, when people are abducted like that, the risk continues to increase on a daily basis. So this governor did not state the source of his information, but we can only assume that, well, that must be coming from assurances he's been able to get from the people that he's negotiating with. He also made another point that the children were abducted by bandits, but that he cannot rule out the possibility that these bandits are also working hand in hand with terrorists, okay? And he mentioned Boko Haram, he mentioned ISIS and all of that. Now, if that is the case, then, of course, it's very strong justification for the government to move faster, to pull out, to adopt, as they say, every measure to ensure that those kids are rescued. But as the days go by and, the boys have not yet been rescued, of course, anxiety will turn into panic. And look at the parents, the anguish that they are going through. When you see their images, waiting outside the school and all that, I mean, you really feel very bad about what is going on. You mentioned the NIN, the National Identification Number, in relation to what, the NCC, the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Technology, has directed that by December 31, any SIM card that is not linked to a national identification number should be disabled. Now, I think the House of Reps intervened in one regard, not this one, but with regard to the stoppage of SIM registration. But what NIMSI has done is to provide a number of guidelines. But you look at those guidelines is say like imposing further punishment on the Nigerian people. They say, for example, if you want to change your name in the process of aligning your SIM card with your identification number, you have to go and you have to do change of name in the newspaper. There must be a newspaper publication. You must get a court affidavit. All of this at a cost. Now, they offered advice if you want to double-check your NIN number and on your SIM card, then you use, is it *364 hashtag. Now, that also comes at a cost because people have been complaining that when they tried it, they had to pay 20 naira. Imagine the number of people paying 20 naira. Now, NIMSI has also gone ahead to give the impression that it can handle the situation within the deadline that has been given. But can they really do it? NIMSI could not provide identification number for over 100 million Nigerians over 5 years. Now, would they now do that successfully in 2 weeks?
Magic.
Now, NIMSI has now gone a step further to announce a number of, I think, 173 agents, including state departments, including NGOs and CSOs, and also private liability companies across the country that are supposed to be agents for this registration. Now, 173. What is the location of these various agents that have been engaged? And then, are we not going to have a big rush? This is festive season. People will be afraid that their phones will be cut off because of our intimate emotional attachment to telephony. I said yesterday that we talk a lot. For some people, if you cut off their lines, it's like you have killed them.
Yeah.
And now, if there is that rush, then what you were facing, what NIMSI is pursuing, what the NCC and the Ministry of Communications are pursuing, in fact, they've just given us a prescription for mass suicide.
I can imagine.
At a time when COVID infection rates have gone up, 930 cases yesterday. By January, we may be looking at 2,000 cases per day. And then you find all these people who are vulnerable rushing to these agents to go and get their national identification numbers. I think that there is need for a rethink. Otherwise, it will amount to government, on one hand, saying infection rates are going up, during festive season, take precaution, and at the same time, opening opportunities for people to go and commit suicide.
I can imagine.
It's the worst idea imaginable.
It's quite very sad.
I don't understand it.
And that's why I kept on asking a question yesterday, Dr. Abati and Tundu. I said, was that the best idea in that meeting room? I doubt it. Dr. Abati, I can give you, as we speak, I can give you the names of 100 young Nigerians that can develop an AI interface that can link your NIN number and your telephone data and everything together and other things like that. And I also want the Minister of Communication to go and study something called the Aadhaar system in India, the system of identification. In India, you can travel now even with no passport. You just need one number, the Aadhaar number, and you have well over 600 to 700 to 1 billion people registered on that system. All you just need to do anything now in India is your Aadhaar number. Maybe you should just go and study it and see the way it's done elsewhere and bring it here and stop making life difficult for already difficult lives already.
They need to study something, that's for sure.
Well, here, you need international passport. You need driver's license.
They should just...
You need a NIN number.
They should just...
What else do they need? A letter from your local government.
They should
need BVN.
You should just go and study the Aadhaar system. I'm saying it on natural. Aadhaar system in India, the system of identification. Everybody carries just one number in India. And I believe we can implement it here. Not make life difficult for everyone.
It's awful.
In the US, don't they have social security number?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you want to do anything there, you get a social security number. And that's it.